Hello guys, my name is Alexandria and welcome back to another pick a card reading. For today's subject, we are going to be exploring exposing your enemies. So essentially what that means is if you know that there is someone in your life that is sending you evil eye, then we are going to be looking into what your spirits, guides, protectors feel that you need to know about this person in this situation. That could entail why they're sending you this energy, or it could entail how that's going to affect them, what type of karma they are going to get for sending that to you. It's going to be completely up to the cards, but we are going to get some answers on these situations. Now, keep in mind that these are purely for entertainment. Don't take them too seriously. It's all in good fun. As always, if you feel that you are having to try and force a message that doesn't really fit with your situation, then perhaps that means that the pile you picked is not the right pile for you, or it could even mean that this video is not meant for you, which is totally fine. But either way, like I've always say, just do not try to force a message that does not fit, because your intuition will be able to discern if these messages that come through today fit with your situation. So we got a few different things going on today. I also have a protection candle lit. You can't see it, it's back here. But I have a protection candle lit. It's a black candle. And I have anointed it with this really awesome stuff here. This is made by a local witch here in Tennessee that I am friends with, called the Boho Witch. It's a protection oil. And I've been adding it to I've been making a lot of protection jars and stuff lately. So I've just been adding this stuff to everything. I love the energy of it, and I love Kelly's energy. So I'm really glad to be able to use this in my spell work. I also wanted to, before we get started, show this little protection jar that I made. I don't know if you can see the snake on it because it's kind of, the lighting's not great in here, but this is a protection jar that is available on my website at indigotennessee.com. It has a lot of stuff that came off of my property that you can use for protection, such as snake skin right here. There is also hawthorn thorns, which are really great for protection. I got them off my hawthorn tree. There's lots of different protective herbs. There's stones, and it has the protection oil in it as well that the Boho Witch made. It also has some protection salts that she made. And then I also added some lavender and howlite so you don't only have the protection energy, but you also have an energy of peace and calming from the lavender and the howlite. And that is for you, whoever purchases the spell jar, to bring you peace from those that wish to bestow chaos upon you. So if you're interested in one of these, they are available on my website, and I will have it sitting here with me through this reading. And I think that's about everything. Before we get started, I am going to light my herb bundle here. These are also available on my website. This is not what they look like when you buy them. I've been burning this one. But these are all herbs from my cottage, from my property. Cedar is a really great sage alternative, and I personally think it smells even better. It burns very well. It's a very good protective herb. So we're just gonna be getting a little bit of that energy on the cards here before we get started, and asking for another layer of protection, not only for myself as I do this reading, but for all of you guys as well, if you're experiencing someone sending you evil eye. And with that, I think we're ready to get started. So for pile number 1, we are gonna have the Zombie Tarot. In most of these decks, this one isn't really Halloween themed, but most of the decks we're using today are Halloween themed in nature. So the first one for pile number 1 is gonna be the Zombie Tarot here. And this card came out as the cover card for the pile. So this is from the Halloween Oracle. This is Night Song Hidden Talents for pile number 1. For pile number 2, we have the Fallout Tarot, if you're familiar with the Fallout video game that I have been obsessed with for a long time. This is a tarot deck based on based on that video game, and the card that came out for it from the Halloween Oracle is the Zombie card, which also says Control. So this is for pile number 2. And for pile number 3, we have the Day of the Dead Tarot. This is one of my favorite tarot decks. I love it. I think the art is super cool. And the card that came out for that from the Halloween Oracle is Vampire Emotional Intelligence. So that's for pile number 3. If you need some time to decide which pile to choose, feel free to pause the video. But otherwise, we're going to go ahead and get started with pile number 1. Hello, pile number 1. We are ready to get into your reading and expose your enemy, see what you need to know about the situation. So before we get into your tarot, we already have the Night Song Hidden Talents card. So what I'm feeling with this card, I haven't pulled any of the tarot yet, so we'll see what the tarot says. But with it saying hidden talents, I feel like this person might be evil eyeing you because you are a talented person. They could be jealous of your talents. I'm also hearing they could want your talents to remain hidden because they may be threatened by them. So we will get some tarot and get some more information on this. So I'm going to give these cards some shuffling to give them some fresh energy. And then we're going to be asking Spirit, what does pile number 1 need to know? Expose pile number 1's enemy, Spirit. Okay, so we have the King of Swords in reverse. All right, we have the Six of Cups. I feel like this, with the Six of Cups coming out, it's a card that represents the past. So I feel like this could be someone from your past. I'm almost seeing, like with the imagery here, that you and this individual could have been friends or maybe friendly acquaintances if you didn't really know each other that well. But I feel like it didn't used to be this way. Like you guys may have started off being okay with each other. And then, you know, your hidden talents, like maybe they didn't realize when they were starting a friendship with you or trying to get to know you that you had these talents that was going to make them have these insecurities come up and start seeing you in a different light. Because I'm also seeing too with this imagery here, you know, you have this little girl, she's a human girl and she's hugging this zombie. So it's almost like, you know, you might have thought at first that this person wasn't like this, that they weren't a zombie, that they weren't potentially a danger to you. Okay, we have the Page of Swords. Now, this makes a lot of sense. Page of Swords typically is a card that can represent someone spying on you, stalking you, trying to keep tabs on you, especially through social media. So I'm definitely seeing that this individual, even if you guys like are no longer in communication, even if you've put some type of boundaries or space between you and this person, that this individual is still keeping tabs on you. They're still looking at your social media. They're still looking at what you're doing. You could be doing like, you could have like a small business or be known for doing something that you use your social media for, because I feel like with the Hidden Talents card, like I said, I felt like that this individual feels threatened by you because of your potential and your talents. And so they're keeping an eye on you to see what you're doing with these talents, you know, keeping tabs. Okay, we have the World in reverse. We have Ten of Hazards. This is the Ten of Pentacles. In traditional tarot, very interesting that it would come out with the Six of Cups. So Ten of Pentacles is a card of, it's a card, it's like a happy ending card because it's a 10, of course. In the Pentacles world, it represents finances and family life and being successful and prosperous. So definitely could be someone competing with you in the workplace here, because Hazards is Pentacles, and Pentacles again represent generally finances, money, things of that nature. The 10 of Pentacles, though, is like you've put in so much hard work, and now you're able, like, you've built this legacy from your hard work. You've built something long lasting, could even potentially be something that you could pass down through your family if you have kids. Like, it's something that has really come to fruition, and that you're very we'll say abundant so I don't get tongue-tied again, that you're very abundant with. And I feel like that makes this individual feel some type of way. Like, this is probably someone who has a lot of shadow work that they need to do within themselves, because whenever they see successful people, instead of being happy for them, they compare themselves to that person, and then they cause a problem with that person if they feel like that person is outshining them in some way. So I definitely, doesn't have to be, but definitely getting the sense that this could be someone that's looking at you in your career or your financial abundance, even happy family life, because like I said, the 10 of Pentacles, though it does represent finances, it also represents building a long-lasting legacy that you can incorporate your family into and pass down for your family. So like, I feel like this person is just, they're very threatened by that. And so it may not even be, I mean, it could very well be that this person is sending you evil eye on purpose, but it could even be someone that it's not like a conscious thing necessarily. It's just that they're overcome with so much jealousy and bitterness and comparing themselves to what you have, that it's sending you evil eye. Because people don't have to purposely, they don't have to make the intention to send you evil eye. If someone has negative energy towards you and they're spending a lot of their time thinking about you or talking about you to other people, then that's sending that energy to you, because, that's still manifestation energy coming through. So let's get one more here. So this is too many. I only take one at a time, so I'm putting these back. Again, that's too many, so I'm taking those back. Just one, please. Let's do one more. And you keep giving me more than one. Just one, please. There we go. Okay, we have the 5 of Hazards. This is the 5 of Pentacles. Yes, this all lines up very well. So 5 of Pentacles. 5 of Pentacles is a card where we feel left out in the cold. We feel abandoned. Somebody has abandoned us. With the King, so let's pause on this for a second, because we need to start here, because we have these 2 cards. We have the King of Swords in reverse, and we have the World in reverse. So first of all, the King of Swords upright, that's generally someone who speaks their mind, who is very direct, very clear about their intentions, what they want, etc. With this being a King of Swords in reverse, to me, this is saying that this is a passive-aggressive person. This is not somebody who is going to come tell you that they have a problem with you, but they're going to do it behind your back. They may even act like a friend to your face. I could see that with the 6 of Cups, even though this card represents someone from your past. Like I said a minute ago, what stood out to me is that there's this little girl who's normal. She's just, a regular human child, and she's hugging a zombie who could potentially bite her and harm her. And she doesn't seem to be noticing that. So this could very much be someone who acts one way towards you in person and then completely changes their demeanor, may talk shit about you behind your back, pretty much. I feel like this is someone who's two-faced. They are not being upfront about how they feel. I feel like with all the information that's coming through with this card, with the Page of Swords being, you know, somebody that spies and keeps tabs, this could be someone that if you do have them in your life currently and you're suspecting that they might be sending you evil eye, I feel like it's a confirmation of yes. And it's because even if they don't have an authentic, genuine connection with you, like a friendship with you, because they have all these insecurities that block them from being able to have that, they still want to keep tabs on you. They still want to know what you're doing. They still want to, you know, be able to be the first to know what is going on in your life. I can also see that here with the hidden talents. Yes, I feel like hidden talents can mean that you have talents that they maybe weren't expecting, that have caused insecurities in them. But I'm also taking note of the fact that this says hidden. And we have a lot of cards here. The King of Swords in reverse, the Six of Cups of, you know, this little girl hugging this person or this little kid that could potentially harm her. I feel like this is someone who is trying to be in the shadows about their intentions towards you. They're not trying to be authentic. They're not trying to tell you that, hey, I feel this way about this, or they're not even attempting to cut off a connection with you fully because they feel like if they keep the connection open just enough that they can keep tabs on you and that they can have some type of influence in your life by doing so. So definitely someone who is the opposite of the King of Swords. They're not direct. They're not telling you that, hey, this is how I feel. They're hiding it. They're hiding what they actually feel towards you. Now, again, this could be one or two scenarios. This could be where this person, like you still have some type of tie to this person and you're wondering if this person's sending you evil eye, which I would say yes. Or this could be a situation where you noticed, you caught on, like this may have happened for a little bit, but you were able to catch on and you were able to cut this person off and set your boundaries. And that's why this person is, I mean, they were keeping tabs on you regardless, but even if you tried to cut them off, they're still keeping tabs on you. They're still keeping an eye on you to see what you're doing. With the World in reverse. So the World upright, that is a card where we have completed a cycle in our life and it is time to move on to a new phase. But with it in reverse, this tells me that this individual is stuck in this loop. They're not learning whatever lesson they're supposed to be learning from you. Because most of the time when we feel like, especially because this seems to be stemming from a place of insecurity within this individual and not you, that probably means that this is a lesson for this individual to work on themselves, to work on their confidence, to not compare themselves to other people. But this individual is not there, because if they were, they'd be able to move forward. The World would be upright. They'd be able to learn their lesson and move to a new phase of their life that's more positive. You know, a lot of times when the World comes up too, it means that we not only learned our lesson, but we're moving into a, you know, another good energy because we learned that lesson. This individual is not getting it. They are stuck in this energy and they're probably miserable every time they think about you because they're not doing the work to get themselves out of it. So of course they're going to feel like shit every time they think about this situation. With the Five of Hazards, so the Five of Pentacles in traditional tarot, again, this is a card of abandonment. This is a card of feeling left out in the cold. And just like I said before, I see that this individual, you make them very insecure. You make them feel inferior. And you probably, you know, you may not even be trying to do that to this person. There's a good chance that you're just out here trying to live your life and fulfill your goals and, you know, figure your own stuff out. But because this person compares themselves to you, it just burns them up that you have a Ten of Pentacles, that you have this potential to have this Ten of Pentacles, and they feel like they don't. They feel like they're getting the shit into the stick when it comes to life, and you're getting all these things that they want. So it could also be, again, if it's someone in the workplace, that this could be someone that, like, So if you have a job where you work for someone else, maybe you have some type of position within your job that that person wanted or that person wants to get to, and it makes them feel inferior because they feel like, well, I should have been the one to be in that position, not this person. I've been putting in all this work and I'm still being left out in the cold. I'm being abandoned. Five of Pentacles also can represent lack of security, lack of financial stability. So this could be something too where this individual, like, even if they portray themselves as being financially well off, they're probably not as well off as they tell people they are, because they have this card of lack here. And I feel like their lack is what causes them to be insecure with you, because even, and again, you may not even be as well off as they think that you are, but because you are focusing on your own life, are focusing on your pentacles in your bag and building a legacy for yourself that you can leave for your family, you know, they might feel like you're just doing so much better than them. And so they're comparing the two situations, when in truth, most of the time, people are never how they portray themselves to be, especially if they're spying on social media. I mean, you only show a certain side of yourself. Most people only show a certain side of themselves on social media. There are people that post everything that happens in their life, but I don't necessarily think that's the best thing to do either. That's a totally different subject. But I mean, they may be going off of just what they see on your social media or what they hear about you, and that you may look like you have it together, even if you don't feel like you do, even if you know behind the scenes what you're dealing with, what you're having to go through to get to this 10 of Pentacles. To them, it looks like you've already achieved that, and that makes them feel awful because they don't feel like they're even close to being where you are yet. Also, I'm hearing, you know, like with the 10 and the 5 here, it's like they feel like they're halfway there because, you know, like 5 is halfway of 10. So I'm feeling like they feel like they're only like halfway there and you're like already there. And they may have been working at this just as long as you have, or even longer. So it really eats them up that you have already accomplished so much. And again, this may be, you know, your life may have a lot more going on than this person even realizes, but it's just because this is the type of person where even if it wasn't you, they're going to compare themselves to somebody because they have this wound that they are not healing. They're not learning this lesson. This could be something that they've done for a long time. You may not be the first person they've been like this towards, because oftentimes when we have someone that latches on to us in this type of way because they need to learn a lesson, generally we're not the only people that have made them feel this way. Sometimes it is, I guess, if you get to a certain point in your journey and this is a wound that comes up and you happen to be the first person that really reflects that wound to them, then sure. But a lot of times, you know, if we're not learning a wound, or if we're not learning to heal a wound that we have, then the universe is going to keep providing us with individuals that make us feel that wound until we figure out how to fix it. And I feel like that's the situation with this person, is that you without even trying, just make this person not feel good about themselves. And that's not your fault. It really has nothing to do with you. Because the thing is, you know, when you're someone who's chasing your goals and you're really focusing on your success and you are, you're to some extent, obviously, you know, winning, I don't mean winning like winning against this individual, but like winning with yourself. Like you're making these goals, you're accomplishing them, you're making progress, you know, and other people can see it. If there are people that want what you have, but they have all this baggage holding them down, then you're going to trigger them into feeling like they should be mad at you, because these type of people would rather point the finger at other people who are doing the work, who are getting where they need to go because they are working on themselves and their baggage and putting in the effort and like really focusing on their journey. These type of people that have these type of wounds, they're not capable of doing that because they haven't done the work. It's easier for them to point at you and say that you are the reason that they're not successful, instead of looking in the mirror and pointing at themselves and going, maybe there's something I could be doing better, or maybe it's not even, you know, this could even be a situation where it's not even that you're doing so much better than them. It's just that they're doing so much comparing within their own life that it's negatively impacting their mental health and negatively making them view other people who are successful. And unfortunately, you seem to be the target of that information for them. So, let's see, I feel like all that came through pretty well. I don't really feel anything else as far as what you need to know. I'll pull one more Halloween Oracle as like a final advice for you. I think the main thing you need to know about this situation is just that, you know, it's not your fault that this person's targeting you, that they're sending you evil eye. I think that it has to do with this person. And most of the time that's the case, you know. Most of the time, if you have someone that's just being nasty towards you and you haven't even really, like, you haven't done anything to warrant them treating you like that, it's generally because that individual has some personal things going on that they need to work on, and they're not working on them. And so instead of healing it and getting better, they're projecting their problems onto you or whoever. And I think it's one of those situations where you're just going to have to learn to not pay any mind to them, which can be hard because I've been in these situations. It's very annoying whenever you feel like you're trying to mind your business and there's just somebody that's just on your tail all the time because they have a problem with you, even though you're trying to just do your own thing. But I feel like this is just like an explanation, you know, to help you understand why this individual may target you or why they're sending you evil eye. It's 100% to do with them. And if it makes you feel any better about the situation, if they're still targeting you, then that means they haven't learned their lesson, and that means that they're miserable. So, you know, if this person is just like constantly attacking you, or like if they're going around saying things about you, lying about you, if they're, you know, whatever, people can do so many terrible things. If they're doing any of this to you, I think the thing that Spirit and your guides and your protectors want you to keep in mind is that it's just like, just take it as a sign that this person is not doing their work and they're miserable, and you can just kind of, because I feel like too, there's nothing that this person can do really that can affect what you're creating for yourself. I feel like you're safe, you're protected. You know, your guides want you to know it's not like you got to be in fear of this person. It's just an explanation as to why they're targeting you. And if they're targeting you and it upsets you, just sit back and think, well, it just means they're still miserable with their life while I'm out here chasing my dreams and, you know, being happy. If my only issue is that there are people like this that are threatened by me because I'm doing the right things and I'm being successful, then that says more about them than it does about your journey. So, but we'll get some final advice from Spirit here. Can we have some final advice for pawn number 1 about this situation? Just one card, please. All right. So we have ancestors. I love it. The lore and legacy of our DNA. Yeah, your ancestors are protecting you. There's nothing this person can do to harm you. Nothing. Even if they're sending evil eye on purpose, if they're trying to smear your name, to send you bad energy, your ancestors are on top of it. They are not allowing this person to negatively affect you. I mean, yeah. Now this person, if they don't heal their wounds, then yeah, they're going to keep feeling, they're not going to stop disliking you until they're able to face themselves and see that the reason that they feel the things they feel towards you has everything to do with their wounds and really nothing to do with you. But I don't see this individual doing that right now. And even if this individual never does, I don't think there's anything they can do to stifle your success and your blessings, because not only is, you know, the energy they're coming from, it's such a, it's hard to create, it's hard to manifest powerful things when you're in, for lack of better terms, if you have shitty energy, you're not going to be able to manifest good outcomes. And I feel like that's what your guides and your ancestors are saying. They're like, there's no, that they can't manifest. To them, I think their idea of them succeeding is making you fail so they can overpower you and take your spot. That's never going to work for them because they're never going to achieve anything positive like that. They're not going to receive their ancestral blessings if they try to get to a position of power by knocking someone else down. That's not going to work. Now, if they do the work and they start working on themselves and they're honest with themselves and they realize that you are not the enemy here, that the enemy is their insecurities and their own baggage, then they could absolutely turn it around. They could have so many blessings because they would learn that lesson, and then the universe would gift them for learning that, right? But them thinking that overpowering you and being better than you and talking shit about you and trying to push you down so they can be pushed further up, it's never going to work for them. So if that's the mentality they're taking towards you, they are never, ever, ever, ever going to be able to be successful in the way that they envision, because they're not going about it in the right way. Their energy is not right. You cannot manifest greatness with shitty energy, and right now they're in shitty energy. So if that's where they stay, you do not have to worry about them hurting you or harming you or getting in your way, because they're just, I mean, they just can't. That's just what I'm hearing. They just cannot. Their lesson here to give them those blessings is to work on themselves and transform in a positive way. And then the universe would be happy to provide the things that they want, because they'd be able to provide it in a better way for them. But if they think that they're going to be some type of villain and come through and condescend you into them winning, it's never going to work for them. And they're going to be consistently miserable and consistently failing, or at least to them. Again, it may not even be as bad as this individual is seeing the situation, but because they feel so insecure and so inferior, it's clouding up everything. Even if they achieve something, if you're achieving anything, it makes them feel like their achievement is nothing because you still have an achievement and they don't want that. So, yeah, I don't think I can make that message any more clear for you guys. So y'all are good. Your ancestors are protecting you. This individual, just ignore them the best you can. It's probably hard to some extent if they're targeting you, but like I said, if they do get, if it starts to bother you, just remember that this person's miserable, and you're obviously, if you're focusing on your life and doing things for you and building your legacy and making positive change within your journey, then you're already doing better than this person is, because they can't seem to get past you, thinking that you are blocking them when really it's them blocking themselves, okay? So, if that resonated for you, please like, share, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. If you're interested in booking a personal reading with me, or checking out my website where I make protection spell jars and different types of ritual supplies and sell tarot and spiritual books, all that good stuff, you are welcome to check out the links for all that below. I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day, and I'll see you guys in the next reading. Bye. Hello, pile number 2. If you chose the Fallout Tarot with the Zombie card, Control, then this is going to be your reading on exposing your enemies. So, first of all, with the tarot, or the Oracle card in general, and the Control energy coming through, this could be someone that in some way wants to control you or your life or your achievements or something. This could be someone sending you evil eye that has control issues. Perhaps that you're doing something that they feel like they want to have control over, but we'll see more when we get the tarot. So Spirit, please expose pile number 2's enemies. Okay. So we have the 9 of Scents in reverse. I think these are swords. I may have to look this up because I forgot that they don't. It's tarot, but they do their own spin on it. I'm pretty sure that's swords, though. I want to say no. Still is swords. Yeah, I may have to look that up here in a second. All right. Let's go ahead and get the cards, though. All right, we have the Emperor. That is Hancock from Fallout. If you're familiar with the game, or if you're not. So I will say too that the Emperor coming out with Control being your Oracle card makes a lot of sense to me, because the Emperor can be someone, it's a very masculine energy. It's generally seen as a divine masculine energy, but you can have too much masculine energy. You can have too much feminine energy. You can have too much of anything. But like when you have too much masculine energy, this tends to be an individual who really tries to be in control of situations or people or things when it's not necessarily their place. This, I mean, definitely can symbolize someone with control issues. So let's see what else comes through. Where'd you go? I just saw one flip. I gotta find it. There we go. We have the 9 of Muskets. I want to say that's Wands, but like I said, we'll check. We have the Tower. So again, very interesting that the Tower would be coming out when we have cards that represent control. The Tower is a card where something has to fall apart. Like something that the foundation was built upon, it's not stable, it's not meant to last, and it has to crumble so that way it can be rebuilt on a more stable foundation. So this could be a situation where something has to fall apart in order for something else to come together, and there could be some sense of control, like trying to control the outcome or control the tower from falling. So makes sense so far. Okay, that's too many. I only take one card at a time whenever I'm doing tarot, so we're going to put those back in. And again, that is like 4 or 5 cards. That's way too much. Way too much. This way too much as well. Just need one at a time, please. So 5 of Scents. This could be Pentacles, maybe. All right, and that's more than one, so let me put that back. One more, please. That's more than one. Just need one more card. Okay. There we go. 7 of Scents. So yeah, we're definitely have to figure out what the scents are, because there is a lot of them. in this reading. So I'm gonna lift this for just a second. I apologize. I'm sure that's wonky. I'm gonna grab the booklet out of here so I can confirm for sure. And get that balance back out. Swabbly. Okay. And I dropped the booklet. I dropped it. Give me just a second. Okay. All right, let's see what the sets are. So we also have muskets. I think the muskets might be something. Okay, so muskets are wands and cents are coins, so pentacles. Okay. Okay, so this is wands and these are coins. So a lot of pentacles here. Could possibly be someone in the workplace, just because there is so many pentacles. Like, that's kind of the majority of what you got going on here. So 9 of Pentacles in reverse. So 9 of Pentacles upright would be a card where you are financially independent. So typically the card shows an individual by themselves, surrounded by pentacles, surrounded by abundance. It's somebody who not only is abundant and by themselves, but they're happy, they're content being financially independent, you know, being able to depend on themselves. Then we have the 5 of Cents. This is the 5 of Pentacles. 5 of Pentacles represents abandonment, feeling left out in the cold. It can represent lack in terms of finances. We have the 7 of Muskets. So this is the 7 of Wands. 7 of Wands is typically a card of an individual who looks like they're fighting, having to really defend themselves. And then we have the 7 of Pentacles as well. And I do believe the 7 of Pentacles is where you are. I'll check this other tarot deck real quick, but I'm pretty sure it's where you have been working on your finances and you're kind of waiting. It's either one where you're working or you're waiting, and I can't remember which one it is. So if y'all give me just a second, I'm gonna check this other deck here. All right, so I feel with the cards that are coming through, this is gonna be very specific. It may not resonate for everybody, but if it does, here it is basically. I feel like this could be a past relationship, like a romantic relationship. Does not have to be for everyone. But I am getting a lot of masculine energy coming through with the Emperor, as well as with the Tower card here, excuse me. And I'm getting this sense of control. Like, I'm getting a sense of somebody wanting to control a person. So this could have possibly been an abusive relationship in some way. I'm getting wanting control over a situation. Now, again, that may not resonate for everyone, but I am feeling that for some of you, this is going to pertain to a relationship that you've been in. Like, I'm feeling almost like an abusive masculine energy that tried to control you, tried to control your, could have even tried to control your finances, honestly. I mean, I'm thinking just like try to control your life in general. But because we have so many pentacles as well, I am getting this sense that this could be someone that, like, I don't know, maybe they really had you constrained into a life with them because you depended on them financially. So I mean, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's a romantic relationship. Maybe there's someone that gave you financial assistance and they tried to like use that as leverage to control you. But overall, I'm definitely getting that this person that's sending you this energy, it's someone that I'm hoping they no longer have control over you in any way. I'm thinking they don't, because we do have the Tower card here, and the Tower card, like I said, is about something having to fall apart because it's just not working the way that it has been built up, right? And I feel like that could have brought a lot of unhappiness to this person for them to no longer feel like they have this control over you or the situation with you. I feel like this is someone who could be very defensive with the Seven of Muskets, which would be the Seven of Wands. Like I said, that's generally a card. It shows someone who is like, they have like their wand and they look like they're fighting or defending something. I feel like this individual wanted a situation or their relationship with you to go a certain way and it hasn't. And for that reason, it's really causing them to experience negative emotions because they're losing that sense of control over you or the situation. Now, oh, I had a point and I lost it. I guess they'll come back to me. Oh, okay, there it is. So I don't necessarily think this is somebody who is like consciously sending you evil eye. The energy that I'm getting from this person is that they're not self-aware. Like they may not even be a spiritual person. I don't feel like they're self-aware enough to like actually know that they can do that with intention. Like, I don't feel like this is somebody who knows about, you know, what evil eye is and is trying to send you bad energy on purpose. Like, I don't necessarily think this is someone who is trying to send that into your life. However, I feel like, though, that this person has very strong emotions about how something has played out here with you. Like I said, rather this is a relationship or a situation, and because they feel that lack of control, it is triggering a very negative, controlling side of them. That's why I said I'm just really getting this could be someone who it's like a low-key or high-key abusive relationship, because it feels like there's this masculine energy that wants to dominate you or this situation, and because they're not able to anymore, it's causing them to unconsciously send you all this negative energy because it's what they're feeling about it, if that makes sense. Yeah, I'm really feeling like this could very well be a romantic relationship that you've had. Again, it doesn't have to be a guy. It doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. Maybe you had a friendship where someone like really tried to control aspects of your life, really try to have a hand in what you did, and or some, I don't know, but it feels like to me, it strongly feels like some type of relationship and somebody has lost control in regards to the situation or relationship. It had to fall apart, right? The Tower has come. The Tower blew this apart, and now it's a very defensive, like still wanting to control but not really being able to energy. With the Five of Pentacles here as well, this could be someone you left out in the cold. You could have, again, like I said, I feel like this individual feels like they got abandoned, like that they no longer have the control over you or the situation because you probably walked away from them in some way. At least I hope you did, because like I said, this energy is not great. It's very domineering. It's very, it's just, it's very much that they want control over you or the situation. And if they don't have that control, I feel like they are a very toxic person for you to be involved with in any way. And I'm thinking you don't need to be involved with this person regardless, just because nobody should have control over you. Like, that's not, especially if this is a romantic relationship. Of course, there are things in relationships in regards to like having respect for one another and not overstepping, your boundaries or their boundaries, and being considerate, stuff like that. But like, nobody should be trying to have this control over you, because like I said as well, I even feel this energy of this person like doing nice things for you, but only really doing them so they can have strings attached to you. So again, if this isn't a romantic relationship, this could be someone that offered you some type of financial assistance here, with there being so many pentacles, and like now they're holding that as like strings in you, like that's their attachment to you. Because like, if you try to walk away from them or assert control back over your own life or something, that they might be like, well, I did this, this, and this for you, so you owe me, type of energy. Like, it feels very selfish, very egotistical, very much that, they're entitled to you or your energy or whatever situation this is. Like, it's, it's not a good energy. We have the Nine of Pentacles in reverse. So again, I feel like this is somebody who benefited off of you not being able to be financially independent in some way. May not resonate for all of you, but I'm definitely picking up on some of you, especially if this is like a past romantic relationship where you really depended on this person. I feel like this person had control over you because you may not have had the financial means to take care of yourself, and this person could have offered to help you, could have done stuff that seemed nice at the time, but it's like now they're wanting their payback, right? Like now they feel like, well, because I did this for you, you can't just walk away from me. You can't not have a relationship with me because I offered all this assistance to you when you needed it. Again, it could very well be finances, with it being pentacles. It could just be assistance in general though. But I feel like very strongly that this is the type of person where they do nice things because they have a selfish motive behind it. It's not out of the kindness of their heart. It's because they want to have ties to people so that they can use them later on. So that way they can come and pull that string and say, you remember when I did that? And then you feel entitled, even if it's just out of guilt, if it's just out of, you being a good person and feeling like, well, they did do this thing for me, so, I should allow them to have this or do this or whatever. Like, I feel like this is how they treat, probably not just you. I think this is how they treat people in general, is they don't do things for people without thinking about how it could help them in the long run, if that makes sense. So, I definitely, I feel like that pretty much sums up the situation. As far as the advice, we're gonna pull a Halloween oracle here and see what your guides and spirit has to say about this. Because for me, like, if you're still involved with this individual, I would get out while I can, because it's just such an entitled, like, they feel like they're entitled to you energy, and that they're gonna keep putting strings into your relationship so that way they can have a reason to ask for something down the line. And again, it might not even be someone that if it's not someone that you had some type of romantic relationship with, it could be someone where they're just a user, is what I feel like, or what I hear is that they do things for people and expect people to do things back. They don't do things from a place of love. They do things from a place of egotistical selfishness and how it can benefit them later on, how they can call that favor back in, you know what I mean? Like, it's not, whenever you offer something to someone, whenever you do something for someone, ideally you're supposed to do it from a place of genuine sincerity And not always, I mean, there's certain scenarios, you know, like you let someone borrow something that they need to give it back, you know, nothing like that. But a lot of times if you're trying to help someone out of the kindness of your heart, you generally don't expect them to pay you that favor back later on, because you're doing it to help them in that moment because you care about them genuinely and you want to help them. And I don't feel like this is the type of person that views doing kind things in that way, because it's like they do kind things to put strings in people, to have control over them, to ask more favors later on. Like it's a very me first energy, and there's nothing wrong with putting yourself first, but it's like too much of that energy, you know what I mean? Like it's not in balance is what I'm hearing. They're very much looking out for themselves and nobody else, and they don't care if that negatively impacts anyone else because it's all about them is what I'm hearing. Whew. But I do feel like I said with this Tower card, that something has fallen apart because they obviously are feeling that lack of control over you in the situation now, and it's causing them a lot of distress. And that's why they are sending this bad energy to you. Because like I said, I don't feel like they are even self-aware enough. I don't feel like this is probably not someone who is into spirituality or witchcraft or whatever. This is just someone who has so much negative energy that they're projecting it outwards and not even realizing it, just because it's so strong is what I'm hearing. And to be fair, you know, you don't always have to do spells or even know that you're sending that energy out in order to send it out. You know what I mean? Like sometimes if you feel something so strongly, you could be casting spells with just the emotions you're feeling and not even really be aware that you're doing so. And I feel like that's kind of what this person is doing, is that they're not doing this on purpose. Well, I mean, they might be doing it like in the physical world, yeah, they could definitely be harassing you, or like not wanting to leave you alone, not respecting your boundaries, trying to pull favors from you, trying to use you based off of stuff that they helped you with in the past. That very much they could be doing. But I feel like as far as like in energetic terms, they're not sending the energy on purpose. They just have so much of it, and it's such a strong emotion for them that, you know, what they're focusing on is where they're sending their energy subconsciously, basically. So, Spirit, what advice do you have for pile number 2 about this? And I might pull a couple of these cards for y'all, because this is, I really hope you guys are not involved in this situation anymore. As much as you can put boundaries with this person, I definitely think you should. All right, so that is too many, so I'm gonna put that back just one at a time. What advice do you have for pile number 2? It's again too many. Just one at a time. What advice do you have for pile number 2? If you could stop giving me more than one card, I'd appreciate it. Just need one, please. All right. We have Winter, the sacredness of pausing. So, let's get one more. What final advice do you have for pile number 2, Spirit? Okay, we have midnight, the most magical hour of all. Okay. So, Winter, the sacredness of pausing. So, I do feel like you may have already made steps towards, like I said, with the Tower card here, I do feel like there is some amount of distance that you've probably already placed between you and this individual or the situation. I think that's what's triggering this person's control issues so bad, is because they are realizing that they are losing control of you and the situation, and it is causing all these negative feelings to come up for them. So I feel like, you know, with this, Spirit is saying, you know, continue to take that pause, continue to make that space. This is definitely something that does not need to continue on the way it is. I And I don't know, like maybe this individual isn't a bad person and they just got some really heavy energy they need to work out. I mean, that's a possibility, but like I feel like as of now, if this person stays in this energy, you do not need to be around them because it's not healthy. And people can change. You know, I can't like see everything about this person. I'm just seeing this specific energy. Maybe this is something where, you know, I don't know. I'm almost hearing like this could be like an addict too, because I kind of get that vibe from them that they're like, they'll do something for you, but then they'll expect you to do something for them later on, even if it's not something you want to do. They pull favors and stuff, even if it's not like an actual like addict with drugs and stuff. It could be someone that just has like a addictive personality where they just have these issues that they need to work on. I feel like overall the advice for you is that you need to pause this situation. If you haven't already, you might have already, you might be thinking about pausing the situation. That could be why this energy is coming up. If you haven't though, I do think Spirit and your guides are telling you, yes, you need to pause, you need to take a step back. Because this is, as it stands at this time, this is not a healthy energy for you to be involved in. Nobody should feel like they're entitled to you or your energy or your time or anything. The only person you can truly be in control of is yourself. And I don't feel like this person grasped that. And I feel like if this person doesn't have that level of control that they seek, that they could become a very negative person just based on the energy that they're currently in. We have midnight, the most magical hour of all. And we also have the clock behind her, and she's wearing a clock. So, let's see. I'm definitely feeling some type of message that has to do with time. Something about giving this time. I don't know if it means give this person time. You know, maybe they're in a dark place and this is something that they can heal and they can work on themselves and maybe come out a better person, and then you can reevaluate then. But I feel like the biggest thing is to give yourself time to pause, to take a break from this, to focus on putting boundaries in place with this individual. With it being the way this imagery is, you know, she's in all black. I feel like Spirit is saying you are protected, and that you'll see that in time. So this could be a situation as well, I'm hearing, where maybe, so sometimes the Tower comes into our lives because we are not willing to let something fall apart on our own. Like, we may be trying to hold something together that is just not going to work. And the Tower comes in as divine intervention and Spirit saying, no, this is not going to work and it has to fall apart whether you want it to or not. There has to, you know, something new has to come from this, and the way it's going, nothing good is going to happen. So I feel like this is also saying, you know, if there's been a Tower moment with this person or in this situation, because it could be a situation, maybe you're having a hard time letting go of this person as well. Because like I said, I did feel kind of this toxic relationship energy coming through. And unfortunately, if you've been through a toxic relationship, then you're not always good at just jumping ship when you need to. So there could still be some attachment on your part, even if this individual is showing, you know, some red flags here. I'm also seeing, you know, with this Tower card, he's shooting a laser gun, but I mean, it's like, it's red. So it reminds me of like red flags, right? So like the Tower's coming in because it's like, this is this has got red flags on it. Something's got to give with this. I feel like what Spirit is telling you is that this situation is not healthy for either one of you. Because the thing too with the zombie card, maybe you are also having issues with control. Maybe even if you like deep down know that this isn't a healthy situation, or that this individual may have some things they need to work on, perhaps you are also not letting go fully of this, when it looks like that there needs to be some distance and some space and some pausing, and it's for your highest good. Like, it's to protect you from something that you don't really need to be a part of. Hang on, I didn't realize the light was coming through. There we go. If you're having a hard time, if you're having any issues, you know, letting go of this situation, because you and this individual might be spiritually connected to some extent, if you both have control issues, if you both have problems letting go. So obviously I feel like this person probably has the worst control issues because of the energy that I'm seeing come through, but perhaps you also have a hard time letting go of things, even if it's not healthy for you, right? Sometimes we as people have a tendency to continue going back to situations that are not good for us because we just don't know how to let go. We feel like maybe we can control and sculpt the situation to be something different than what it is, but unfortunately at the end of the day you cannot. So I feel like Spirit's advice for you is like, if there's a separation going on here, if there's some distance and boundaries and some things happening, if things are falling apart in this situation right now, it's for a reason. There needs to be this pause. There needs to be this space. There's something here where time is of the essence. Time is important in this situation, and it might mean that you need to take some time to yourself away from this. I feel like Spirit is just saying that, like, even if you are having a hard time letting go of this, even if you are not really ready to let go of this situation, you need to. It's for your highest good. You're being protected. If the universe is having to intervene in this situation because the energy is wonky, then it's because it's protecting you. And that is in itself a blessing. A lot of times when we get the Tower card, you know, when we have to separate from situations and people that we're not really ready to let go of, we can see it as, you know, something that it feels like such a negative experience because we're not ready for it to happen. We don't want it to happen. But a lot of times when divine intervention comes into play, it's for our highest good. Spirit is keeping us from something that is not going to turn out as good for us as we hope it will. And I also say that from experience, with past relationships as well. There's been plenty of times before where I would just hold on to people and situations because I wanted to make it work, which is a form of a control issue. Again, I wanted to make it work. I wasn't willing to accept that it wasn't going to work, and so the universe would have to come in and pretty much blow everything up for me, which felt awful when I was going through it. But when I got on the other side of it and saw, you know, this could have been my life if I had continued down that road, if something hadn't intervened and stopped me from going down that path, that could have been my life, and it could have been terrible. It would have been exactly opposite of what I wanted, but I was so blinded by everything else going on that I couldn't see that in the moment. You know, I couldn't see that when I was going through the situation. All I could see was what I wanted to see at that time. So this could also be something like that as well, if this is some type of toxic relationship, whether it's romantic, friendship, whatever. But I feel like this situation is not healthy. Obviously, if we're trying to look into who's sending you evil eye and this is what comes through, and again, that doesn't necessarily mean, like I said, I don't think this person is sending you evil eye on purpose, but I think that this situation has so much negative energy intertwined into it that it's going to negatively impact you until you clear this lesson out, you know, until you're able to accept that maybe this change needs to happen for a reason, okay? So that is all I'm getting for you, pile number 2. If that resonated for you, please like, share, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. If you're interested in booking a personal reading with me or looking at my witchy products and things that I offer, you can check out my website at indigotennessee.com. It'll be listed in the the description box down below. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of the day, and I hope to see you in the next reading. Bye. Hello, pile number 3. If you chose the Day of the Dead Tarot with the Vampire Emotional Intelligence Oracle card, then this is going to be your reading on exposing your enemies. So, Vampire being your card here, I can see it being like, okay, so I mean with vampires in general, you know, you think of someone who drains you, right? There are definitely, there's, in my opinion, not real world vampires like that drink blood, but energetic vampires, absolutely. People that just really drain you. So this could be foretelling of the individual that is sending you this energy, that they could be someone that really drains your life force from you or wants to drain your life force from you, but we'll look into the tarot to get some further clarification. So, Spirit, please expose pile 3's enemies. Oh, we immediately got a card. Okay, we have Temperance. Oh, that's not a tarot card. Okay, we have 5 of Cups. That is too many cards, so I only take 1 card at a time. If more than 1 comes out, I'm going to put it back in. So, just 1 at a time, please, Spirit. Okay. We got Page of Pentacles. We have 8 of Wands. That is too many. So putting those back in. All right, we have the King of Wands. Oh, 1 flipped. Okay, we have the Ace of Wands. Interesting. That has a cat hair on it. Great. Okay. So let's see, pile number 3. So right away, what's jumping out to me about these cards is the way that the King of Wands is pointing upward here towards the Temperance card. Now, the Temperance card, it's generally a card of balance. It's a card of healing. It's a card of, as you can see, she's pouring into 2 cups. She's got 1 cup she's pouring into. So it's generally, it shows somebody who has enough of the liquid, the water, which represents emotion, pouring, to be able to pour them between both cups. It'd be equal, it'd be balanced. Again, healing. We have the Eight of Wands underneath it, which is fast-moving energy. I feel like, so with this King of Wands here, and it's pointed at the Temperance. So the King of Wands is someone, so you think of wands, it's fiery energy. It can be angry, it can be passionate, it can be explosive. It's all these words that you tie into, you know, fire energy. Now, the King of Wands is generally the more mature one out of all the, you know, like the Page, the Knight, the Queen, all that. But he can still be a force to be reckoned with. He can still be, you know, someone that's explosive in a way. With him pointing at the Temperance, and to me, the Temperance is a card of balance and healing. I feel like this is someone who is really focused on your healing journey or your ability to heal, to be balanced, to be well-rounded with your life. Because like all down here is all wands. It's all fiery energy. What I'm hearing is that this person is, they're like pointing at you, and I feel like they're pointing at you because they're blaming you for something that they're feeling. Because we have the Five of Cups over this King of Wands here. And the Five of Cups is a card of regret and loss. It can be called the card of crying over spilled milk, because traditionally in the regular tarot deck, it shows an individual who is staring down at 3 spilled cups. The liquid is spilled out, the potential is gone, but they're not noticing that there's still 2 standing cups behind them because they're too busy looking at the 3 spilled cups in front of them. So it's a card too of where we're like focusing so much on something negative that you're unable to still see the positives about a certain situation. So I feel like this individual may be in that Five of Cups energy, and like the three cups that are spilled over could be involved with you, right? They could be focusing on you and your healing journey and you becoming balanced in your life, and they're not looking at the 2 cups they have still standing behind them because they're too worried about what you're doing. I feel like with this Ace of Wands here, so an ace of anything represents a new beginning, a fresh start. And I feel like this energy has to do with you. I feel like you are like in some type of rebirth energy, whatever that means for you specifically. I feel like it has to do with your healing. I'm almost getting that this is an individual where like maybe you and this person had shared some type of relationship. Could be a romantic relationship, could be a friendship. But I feel like both of you might have ended up in a situation where maybe you both like kind of got the shit into the stick, and they, instead of working on themselves and healing and, you know, putting in the work to move past it, like I feel like you did that. I feel like your energy is that you're in the Temperance energy, you're healing, you have more abundance, you have this new beginning, and I feel like it's something that has come about pretty quickly for you with the Eight of Wands. Like I said, this is fast moving energy, something charging in. I feel like though, like whereas you have this energy of working on yourself and healing and becoming more balanced in your life, like this person may have been through a similar situation as you, and they're pointing at you and being like jealous of you getting into this energy, but they didn't even try doing the work to get to the same place that you're at. Like if they had done the work that you had, they could be up here with you, but they're not doing that. They're focusing on the negatives instead of focusing on the positives and what can still be done, which is why I see that you have a new beginning here with the Ace of Wands. And I feel like where you are having all these new beginnings happening for you and opportunities and, you know, life looking up for you, they're not. They're still stuck in this Five of Cups. And I feel like it's like pointing the finger at you instead of pointing the finger at themselves. With the Page of Pentacles as well. So again, the Page is the first of, you know, the Page, Knight, Queen, King. So the Page is the first one. The Page is a beginner. So interesting, you know, that the Page of Pentacles and the Ace of Wands, two cards here that represent new beginnings, one representing generally more financial stability, and one representing just a new passionate outlook on life in general, came out together. I feel like you're in a really good energy for yourself. You're in a good energy. You've done some work on yourself. You've done some work on whatever the situation is. I feel like you and this individual could have started at the same place though. And I feel like this person is like sending you bad energy, because they don't understand why they're not where you're at when y'all both started at the same place, if that makes sense. Now I will say with Wands as well, with this being the King of Wands, like when you pull the Knight of Wands, it's not really the best Knight in terms of something being long-term, stable, making it for the long haul, you know, because Wands, fiery energy, it can burn out. It's not like Earth. Earth is a really great energy. If you want something to last, if you want something that's going to see results and success over time, because you know the Earth energy is grounding, it's stability, it's building a foundation, and it'll be there for the long haul. Fire energy can be sporadic. It can not always be there when it says it's going to be there, because they're going by their passions and what they feel. And, you know, that's great to some extent. But if you don't have the ability to make that stability that you need to make these passions long term, then they can just burn out. They can turn to ashes, you know, and then there's nothing left. And so I feel like this is somebody who they feel a lot of things, they get passionate about a lot of things, they might move towards a lot of things, but they're not always there to commit, they're not always there to fulfill the things that they talk about. And so like I feel like your energy is not that though. I feel like you put in the work, you find balance, you do the healing, you know, you're in a new beginning. You haven't mastered anything yet, but you are on your way to building something. And I feel like with you having Pentacles and Wands here in new beginnings, like I said, Wands is wonderful because it's a passionate energy. It's, you know, it's got a lot of momentum behind it starting out, but you also have this Pentacle energy that is more grounding, that can help it be more long lasting. And so I feel like, excuse me, I feel like you are cultivating this energy of following your passions with some groundedness to help them manifest. And this person is pointing at you and is like, all they have is fire. Like all they have is the spontaneous passion of the moment. They don't know how to make it last the way you do. And so they look at you and they're like, why is it working for them? But it's because they don't have this, they don't have the earth energy. And they're too busy looking at you instead of, you know, looking at the 2 cups behind them, right? So they're focusing on the 3 cups of spilled milk instead of turning around and realizing, oh, there's still these 2 cups here, and if I did these things, then I could be on the same level as this person, but they're too focused on the wrong things and are pointing the finger at you instead. So I think it makes sense here with the Vampire Emotional Intelligence card, because to me, this strikes me as an individual who would love to feed off of what you're doing and what you've accomplished without them having to put in the same amount of work. But the thing is that, you know, they're not going to get to where you're at if they don't have more than just the sporadic energy that they get from time to time. You know, they don't have anything that's pushing them forward long term. So when they see people achieving things, they're like, well, why can't that be me? But it's like, because you don't put in the work to make it happen. You feel something, you think something, you maybe even start on it, but you don't stay with it. You don't stick with it. That's what I'm getting with the Wands energy. This is somebody that does not stick with what they talk about or what they say they want to do, because they're just ungrounded is what I'm hearing. Like, they're up in the air. They don't know how to get their feet on the ground in order to take the action to make something work and stick. And so they point at other people who are able to do it. And they're like, well, why can't that be me? But it's not that it can't be them. It's just that they're not doing what's required of them in order to achieve those same things. So I'm going to get a clarification card here from the Halloween Oracle as far as what advice Spirit has for you. Okay, we have Owl, wise seeing, wise action. So look at those eyes. I feel like this is definitely someone that's keeping an eye on you. I feel like they're observing you. Like, they're like, it's not, so like the first reading I did was a little bit similar in terms of someone spying and like wanting what the other person has. But I feel like this energy is like, the first energy was pretty intense, and the second energy was, it was a totally different message, but it was really intense. This is actually the more calmer energy out of the 3 piles that I've done. And it is a little bit similar to pile 1, so if you felt drawn to pile 1, maybe watch that one as well. But I feel like this is more like where that person, it was like they aren't doing the work, and so they're always going to be comparing themselves to other people, which is similar to this message. And the fact that they were spying on pile number 1 to just keep an eye on them and see what they're doing. I feel like this person's watching you too, but it's like this person is watching you because they want to be you. They want to figure out how to achieve the things you're achieving, but they're not putting in the work to do that. Like, they think that if they mimic you in smaller ways without doing the hard work that you have also done, that they will be able to achieve the same things. And then when they don't, it's like, well, why not? You know, like, it's like they're not getting that they can't just mimic who you are now after you've put in the work, and be at the same level you're at, because you got there by healing, by learning to be balanced, by taking advantage of these new opportunities and new beginnings and things like that. With the vampire energy, it just really seems to me that this is someone who, I'm just getting like imitation energy. Like they're trying to mimic who you are now, but it's like impossible for them to achieve what you've achieved just by mimicking who you are now, because it took work, it took time for you to get to where you're at. and they're not going to be able to achieve anything just by copying you. I feel like this is someone who probably copies you. And I don't necessarily feel like this is someone who has like a huge amount of malicious intent. Like the first pile, I felt like they had malicious intent towards pile number one because they wanted what pile number one had, and it brought up insecurities in them. This is more like, it's like kind of like that, but it's almost just like this person is just lazy. Like they just don't want to actually put in the work. You know, they don't want to turn around and look at the 2 cups and figure out how to actually make this happen seriously for them. They just want to look at people like you. They want to observe people like you. And they want to try and feed off of your energy, feed off of who you are. So this could be someone that, you know, tries to steal your aesthetic, tries to steal the music you listen to, dresses like you. Maybe you're into something and you post about it on social media, and then all of a sudden this person's into it. Like this person, I'm feeling, is like they don't have a strong sense of self. They don't have a strong sense of direction. Like they feel things passionately and there's things they want to do, but they don't follow through with it. And so they just like look for people like you who seem like they have it together, who are accomplished, who are thriving because of the work that they've done, and they try to suck off of your energy, essentially. Like they try to be you, they try to become you, in the easy ways to become you, right? Like by dressing like you, by liking the same things as you, by, you know, just really mimicking your energy, but then wondering like, well, but why am I not at the same level this person is? And it's like, I feel like they don't understand it. Like they genuinely do not get why you have the things you do and they don't have the things that you do, because they're trying to be like you. They are trying to mimic you and your success, but they have not done the hard work to get to where you're at. So it's like, you know, they're not going to achieve anything from this. They're just an imitation. They're not going to get the real prosperity the way you do, because they're not actively trying to, you know, work on their own opportunities because they're focused on you, or not even just you. I feel like this is somebody where it's not even just you, it's whoever looks like they're successful or they got it together. Like that's who they're going to draw their energy from. That's who they're going to copy. That's who they're going to try and be. They're going to observe, and they are going to try and mimic that person because they think that if they mimic someone else who is successful in something that they want, that's going to put them on the same level, and it's just not. It's just not going to work like that. So I don't feel like this is someone who, like I said, I don't think they're like intentionally sending you evil eye. I don't think that they're like I don't even think that they like hate you or anything. Like I said, I just feel like it's just a lazy energy. It's just somebody who just doesn't want to try hard enough to be themselves. So they'd rather just try and be other people. And it may seem like an enemy to you, you know, because that can be very annoying, especially if you are someone who does work really hard to be authentic and genuine and be cool with who you are and express that. When you have people that mimic that, and you can tell that that's not really who they are, and you can especially tell that they're just copying everything you do because they see that you get attention for it when you're just being who you are. It can seem like an enemy because it's just so annoying. Like if you're someone, and a lot of times when you're like an artistic, creative person, you know, not everyone gets it, but when you're an artistic, creative person and you work so hard, especially if you're someone that, like, again, I see that you've done a lot of work. Maybe you didn't used to feel comfortable in your own skin. Maybe it took you a lot of time and healing to get to a point in your life where you felt like you can express yourself and not care what anyone thinks. And I think people admire that about you, but I think that there are also people who think that imitation is flattery and think that they can just come in and try to emulate everything that makes you, you, and that's going to give them that same, love and admiration from people that you've received because you've actually done the work to feel comfortable being yourself and be happy expressing who you really are. Like I said, I don't necessarily feel like this is someone who like hates you or is just really trying to send you bad vibes all the time. It's just, this is someone who they don't have a strong sense of self. They're lazy. They don't want to put in the work to really figure out who they are. So it's easier for them to just look at people like you and try to be you, essentially, because it doesn't require as much, And again, it could be very annoying to you. It could make you feel, what's the word I'm looking for? Not aggressive, but I mean, maybe a little bit, but more like it could just rub you the wrong way, right? Because if you're someone who has had to put in the work to feel comfortable being yourself, it's like, I had to get comfortable and get honest with myself and go through all this healing and everything to be able to openly be myself and not care if other people like it or not. And like that might not have been easy for you. So it could be very annoying if someone just tries to come in and copy who you are when they didn't have to do any of the things that you had to do to get to that point. But like I said, I think I've said it like 3 times now. Like, I really just don't feel like this person like has any real malicious intent. They're just not good at being themselves. And so they just copy other people. They're a vampire. They feed off of other people's energy. They try to emulate other people's energy. They try to take people's energy, their aesthetic, their whatever from them and replicate it within themselves. So that way they can feel like, they're on the same level as you, which obviously they're not. Now this, like I said, this could be someone that does that and then they don't receive the things that you receive, and they could kind of point a finger at you and be like, well, why does this person, I acted like this person, so why am I not getting these same things? They could really think like that. But I don't think it's like where they hate you. It's just like, it seems like they're genuinely confused about themselves and who they are and don't have the motivation to really figure out who they are. So it's just, it's a toxic cycle to be in, but I don't think that they're like out here actively. Like, I don't see this as someone that's like talking shit about you or trying to turn people against you or anything like that. I just see this as someone who they want to be you, essentially. And that can cause some negative energy, right? Especially on your end, if it's not something that you're cool with. And I'll be honest, in my opinion, most people find it annoying. I would find it annoying as well. I've had it happen to me. It's not fun. But I don't think you have to worry about this person like sending you a lot of negative energy or trying to screw things up for you in your life. At most, this person's just going to be a thorn in your side, trying to copy you and what you do, because they don't know how to be themselves. And that's more of a judgment on them than it is you, because you've done the work. You're authentically expressing yourself. You're creating these new opportunities for yourself because you are doing the work. So you don't have anything to worry about. But I think your guides and spirit and everything wants you to know that, like, yeah, it's annoying, but you're protected. This person isn't like, they're not really trying to tear you down. They're trying to be you because they don't have the strength to be anything that's authentic to them. So it's just take it with what you will, like I said, this person isn't actively trying to hurt you. They're just probably more of a thorn in your side than anything. But they're never going to achieve, if you're worried about like them being able to copy you and achieve the things you're achieving, if they're trying to do the same things as you, they're never going to be able to get to where you're at, because it's not backed with the earth grounding energy that you have. Even if you're a beginner, you still have something you're putting in the time and the effort to get to where you need to go to be who you need to be. And that's why these things work out for you. This person's never going to get that if they don't work on themselves, you know, if they don't put in the effort for themselves. And if this person's copying you and just trying to take from you, take who you are, take your energy, take your aesthetic, whatever, that's all they're ever going to do. They're never going to be able to get any further than that. So like I said, pretty much just a thorn in your side, unfortunately. I think that's all I'm getting for you though, pot number 3. I hope that resonated for you guys. If it did, please like, share, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. If you're interested in booking a personal reading with me or checking out my website where I sell witchy supplies and other things like that, then you can go to my website at indigotennessee.com. It's listed down below in the description box. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of the day, and I hope I see you in the next reading. Bye, guys.